So I really enjoyed the experience, and at the end, I got my hands dirty into. I was all the way into my service because Brittany was like, "Okay, now you help me taking the water out from the pool," and here we were, taking the two of us at 2 a.m. in the morning, all the buckets and putting out.
I came here on vacation. I was actually with the YMCA in California. I was at summer camp and volunteering up there. And I gave my girlfriend $600. And I said, look, book us a vacation. Let's go to the Bahamas. Let's go somewhere far away. And as we're coming down the mountain, I get a text message and it starts going off. And she's like, hey, we're going to Mexico. I'm like, why? Like, that's not far
You never
enough.
been here?
No. And most times, especially as moms, we'll say, oh no, I don't want to be in a picture. I'm too fat. I'm too this. I'm too that. And I tell them, no, don't worry. It's my job to take the most amazing portrait that you have ever seen of yourself.
Hello, everybody. This is Diego. We are here in a new episode of my podcast, the podcast where we learn from someone else's experiences. And I'm here with a person who is like super creative. And I want you to present to Brittany from somewhere over the border. How are you, sister?
Hi, I am fantastic.
You just were on a play, right? I remember we filmed the Mamma Mia with Henry Lopez. This girl was the lead. How was the experience to be part of a play and acting? Because you're a photographer, and we're gonna talk about that further. But how does it feel to be in the other creative space of the theater? Do you like it? What was your first experience in there?
It was amazing.
How many plays have you done?
Oh, so many I can't count.
Mamma Mia,
That was my first one in Spanish, though.
and how it was Spanish, right? Spanglish.
Thanks to Henry, I was able to make it Spanglish.
How was it?
It was great. It was different, different. You know, it's always challenging trying to figure out when I'm supposed to say my lines, especially not knowing Spanish.
Because you've been here how
But it was
many
good.
years?
This year coming up will be 13 years.
13 years. And you're like super chilling here in Cabo because most of us speak the language English, and you're not like, if they talk to you in English, you let them, right? You're not
Of
like, háblame en
course.
español, por favor. No, you're like,
I
let
know,
them.
no.
And how was the experience in there? Because they were giving you the lines in Spanish. Do you memorize like the ending of each phrase? Or?
Yes.
And if I say like something like, él es tu padre, what would you say?
Padre de quién? I don't know.
So you like acting, right? What do you like the most? Because you're a singer, you like to act in a play and dance. What would you say is like your favorite discipline?
All of them.
All of them?
Yes. That's why the theater is it's fantastic. You get a little bit of everything. And there's a rush when you're on the stage.
Do you
And
feel
when-
like the adrenaline before
Yeah.
coming out?
Oh, I get sick before I come out.
Really?
Really sick.
Where would that start? In the States? You're from the States. Where are you from?
Yes, I'm from California.
Cali girl. And
Not like that Atlanta shirt you wear all the time.
yeah,
Ugly shirt.
I get bros in Atlanta, you know. So you were born and raised in LA, and did you start to experience all your creative disciplines in there? Were you in the choir? Do you sing?
Yes, I was in the Crenshaw High School Elite Gospel Choir. I was in theater in junior high, dance, ROTC, all of it. That was my life, performing arts.
Yeah, and you like to play like any instrument or
No,
no?
no instruments.
How you ever try to play any instrument?
I think a 2-year-old would sound better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say like it's your dream to play? If you pick just one instrument that you would play like super good, well, What would it be?
Mm, either a piano or a harp.
The harp?
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I say maybe the violin or the saxophone, you know? Because I've been in weddings working in there as a filmmaker, and sometimes I see like people playing the sax. I have this wedding that I went. It was last month, and it was this dude who was playing the sax, and he was like in not in the different tone, like in three different tones. He was out of tone. Everyone was noticed, and he was like just playing, you know. And I was like, I want to have this guy's confidence because he knows he's messing with it, but he's still doing it, you know? Fake it until you make it. What do you think? Maybe. Right? So you start in LA as a social worker, because I want to talk about how do you transition from people who was in the caring, the social worker, and then you turn into photographer here in Cabo. Do you start doing photos in there in the States or when you arrive in here?
Well, I was always in front of the camera. I was in music videos. I did a lot of extra and background work and featured roles on the George Lopez show. Million Dollar Baby with Clint Eastwood. I was a ring girl there. And once I graduated from undergrad, I went to grad school. That's where I got my first master's in social work. And then when I moved here, they had no idea what a social worker was. And 3 months has turned into 13 years. And I decided to go behind the camera.
Go behind. I never knew that you were in front of the camera before. Yeah. Wow, that's a good thing about the podcast because I'm get to know things that I never. I've been friends with Brittany for what do you say, 5 years?
That's all.
4 years?
I feel like it's like 6 or 7
6
at
or
this
7?
point.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But okay, so what's your story coming to Cabo? Do you came here for vacations, right? And then you decide to stay?
If only it was that simple.
Yeah? Tell me about it.
I came here on vacation. I was actually with the YMCA in California. I was at summer camp and volunteering up there. And I gave my girlfriend $600. And I said, look, book us a vacation. Let's go to the Bahamas. Let's go somewhere far away. And as we're coming down the mountain, I get a text message and it starts going off. And she's like, hey, we're going to Mexico. I'm like, why? Like, it's not far
You never
enough.
been here
No.
before?
I was going to come here when swine flu hit
2008.
here. Whatever year. I was on a cruise, and they rerouted us the same day. Like, nope, we're going up to your place, to Canada.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where?
No one had clothes for that. We all had clothes for this.
From Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you, what hotel do you arrive in here?
So I stayed at Hacienda Del Mar, and everyone said, don't go on a timeshare presentation. And I said, what is timeshare? I don't even understand, but whatever. And
What do they offer to you? Because they say, like, if you want to have, like, a free dinner or something like that, you come.
yeah,
and-
just come take a tour. Just give us 30 minutes of your time. We'll give you this activity in your rental car, whatever as the spill is. But we had no idea. And met a guy, fell in love. Now here we are, happily ever after.
So
13 years
he was
later.
selling at the end, but he wasn't selling timeshare. He was selling a life in here in Cabo. So I met
Little
Dallas.
did I know that.
Yeah, I want to thank before we continue to Dallas. Dallas is Brittany's husband. He's like very kind. Thank you, Dallas, for getting us the venue. And so, do you met Dallas in the talk of the timeshare? Mm-hmm. And then you decide to stay in here and live in here. Now you have 2 kids.
No,
No,
not
Okay.
quite, but yes.
That's a complicated thing
yeah,
that you were
yeah,
saying.
yeah. Just fast forward.
All right.
And then, yeah.
So, and then let's move to the photography because you create Somewhere Over the Border, which I really like the brand. I've been working with you in different events that we're gonna be talking about experiences that I never thought that I was gonna be involved. Let's talk about it because I've been working with Brittany in weddings and engagements, but one day she told me like, okay, so I have this birthday This birth.
Birth.
You're a doula.
Yes.
That's what I like. That you, I think you combine your passion for social caring, and then you like photography as well. What did start first, the photography or the doula thing?
Photography.
Photography, and then how do you combine into doula? When was your first experience in that?
I was asked to come and photograph a birth. It was my first time ever experiencing a home birth. And they were like, you need to get over here right now. This baby's going to come out any second. And I get there and I'm thinking, what the hell is this? She had a drum circle and she's just walking around and filling up the pool, and her friends are there and family. And yeah, I'm just like, seriously? Like this is it? Really? And
No
Kelly,
drama?
no drama, just hanging out, you know. And Kelly told me, hey, you know, go get the towels and go get this and that. And little did I know I was getting training right there and then. And that, I guess, ignited that fire. And little by little by little, I would learn more and more and more. And next thing you know, hey, do you want to do this? I'm like, no.
Because you did it for Shane's, right? Mm-hmm. When Shane's birthday, you did it like that way on your
Birth?
heart?
No, I wanted to, but that didn't happen like that.
So I remember I was, scheduling my month, and then Brittany was like, "Hey, are you available for a birth?" And I was like, "When is it?" Because we're used to have like, "Oh, there's a wedding. Are you available?" And I'm like, "Okay, wedding is November the 12th. All right, engagement the 15th of November." But this is like whenever she enters in labor, they're gonna call you. And I was like, okay, I never done this. I've been doing videos for, resorts, restaurants, weddings, engagement, parties, events. But this was a thing that I wanted to try. And then the experience was amazing, I think,
Got your
because
hands dirty, huh?
yeah, I even got my hands dirty. So, in weddings, you have done weddings before. You know
Yes.
that we relate with the couple all day. I like to say that we're gonna be the people who's gonna be closest to you all the time on your wedding, and you build this bond, this relationship with them. I've been visiting, the States, and clients from other weddings text me like, "You need to come to our Sunday barbecue." That's nice. But the experience that I got for that birth, because you're in there, you seeing the vulnerability of the couple, you seeing them, open, living their experience as a parents. All the emotions are not compared to any wedding. I remember, I think I cried.
Did you?
Yeah, I cried, but you didn't notice me because you were gonna be like making fun of me.
I know. I
But
was trying to make sure the baby was okay.
yeah, but it was nice. So, okay, so you said on the living room a pool, right? Could you tell us a little bit how was the experience?
For the one that you were there, so it was a home birth. It was her second birth. So we already knew exactly how she labors, and we dim the lights, and we have candles and aromatherapy going, music. We kicked everybody out at one point, and we
Me?
put the pool.
I don't remember.
No, before
Oh, right.
before when her labor stopped, and we put the pool in there, and because Cabo does not have a lot of water, we had to start filling the pool up really early, and we went old school, and we started heating water up on the stove, and we used what do you call that thing? The big coffee dispenser,
Uh-huh.
and we put water in there, and we're taking it back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and hung some Christmas lights up to set the mood a little bit.
Because it was in this season, right? When was
No, April.
it? April. Okay.
Yeah.
But as good Mexicans, we never take out the Christmas decoration.
Oh my gosh.
And then I remember you called me and you say, okay, so Natalie is just start labor. you better be here like in 4 hours, right? It was, I think I arrived like at midnight, 12 a.m. in the morning. And then as soon as I arrived, they were like, be quiet. And I was like knocking, very gentle. And they were like, okay, you need to go up there. And then I went up and I saw the ambience
And you started shaking.
and started shaking.
It's like, what's this?
I was like, okay, so for photographers, I was using like a long lens, being like on the very corner, because I never record a birth. So I was like respecting the space of them. And she was like, you use this like ball, where she's like, what is it for?
The medicine ball or the birthing ball, we call it. When the mom sits on it, it helps move her pelvis so that the baby can have more space to come out. So she sits and rocks back and forth, side to side and whatnot. And it makes her feel better too.
Yeah.
Relieve some of the pain.
And she was there meditating and just, processing the birth. I was from the distance capturing the emotions, because there's like a lot of emotions in there, And maybe in an engagement, at first you don't have emotions. You just have like expectancy, This is expectancy as well, but it's full of emotions, So the emotions, I would say, when the guy kneels and say, will you marry me? But in here was all the time, all what that was she was processing at the moment with family, the mother-in-laws were in there. It was like super private, and you get to be in there as a creator. That's the thing that I like about that experience. So we have the birth. It was amazing. At the end, the dad was crying. She was crying. I was crying behind the camera and hiding my face. And it was an experience that I really enjoyed. And it was thanks to you, because you were involved in that kind of videos, taking content in those spaces. This podcast is for content creators, but also is like a self-development. What do you think it has changed you the most with those experiences? Because you get to see a very beautiful thing, which is a birth. Have you ever had like experience like you are like introspective, like saying like I take this from that?
I think with each birth, it really just testifies about how amazing God is, because you have this baby that's on the inside that's kicking and there's movement and it's well alive. And sometimes I might be the first person to touch this baby, and it comes out and, you're really checking and making sure everything is good. And just that part in itself is amazing. And another thing I take away always is patience. Because like you said, okay, I need you to be here now. Or sometimes, a couple more hours. You never know. I just had a birth last week, and she wasn't even due for 2 more weeks. And next thing you know, I'm like, oh no, we need to go now to the hospital unless you want to have a home birth. You never know. And you just have to learn to be patient. That's something I struggle with.
In the moment? Yeah. I think the thing that I learned from that experience is that if you have a passion that you have the privilege to work, like for me, I really like to do content. The thing that I got for that experience was also what you say, the virtue of life, the birth, God, the whole experience. Because I've been in weddings and I see 2 people getting married and, merge into one person, and you see like God's favor and stuff. And you get from that's what I get from weddings, love stories. And from that was the gift of life. It was seeing something that was like supernatural, because it was like supernatural, the old-fashioned way. And old-fashioned, no, in a pool. It was nice, fashion way.
If that was old-fashioned, we'd be doing a lot more of it here.
Really? So I really enjoyed the experience, and at the end, I got my hands dirty I was all the way into my service, because Brittany was like, okay, now you help me taking the water out from the pool. And here we were, you know, taking the two of us at 2 a.m. in the morning, all the buckets and putting out. And at the end, I have this thing that I never experienced in a wedding for a client or whatever event I have. And Natalie was looking at me and she was like, thank you so much for being part of this.
Aw.
And I took all of that, you know. And that was thanks to knowing you and push me to do things that I never do like that. And it was great. So that's the doula part that you have combined with photography. How did you start the brand? Because that was an experience that we both have. But how do you start it in Cabo? It was at a wedding.
So, it all started with a dream. No, I'm kidding. It actually started with the birth of my daughter, with Solana. And I knew I wanted to take pictures of her. I just didn't know it was going to be so often. And so we purchased a Nikon, I think it was a D3100 or something like that. Just a basic, you know, DSLR camera. And from then on, people started asking to take pictures. Oh, that's so cute, you know, yada, 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 yada. And I remember I shot Dinah's wedding. That was my first big, like, event type of thing. And goodness, I should really shoot with them again. I look at those pictures, I'm thinking, what was I doing? Every single rule that I should have followed, I had no idea. None. And yeah, so I started with that. And at the time, I was still flying back and forth to see family back in LA. So the name came up to me somewhere over the border, because I was always somewhere over the border. Kind of like a catch me if you can. And here we are.
That, hey, Brittany, where you be in Christmas in holidays? And you, I don't know, somewhere over the border. That's nice. And you always like to, you know, keep up learning things. And you're being one of the persons that I known that you go to the States each year to take courses, right? How was the experience in there? Where you been? What do you learn?
Goodness. Well, 2 Julys ago, 2 summers ago, I went to the Coastal Dreams workshop with Rachel Updow, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce her name. I can never say her last name right. And Amber Demore. And it was really just life-changing, hands-on experience. We were able to stay at Rachel's beach house, and there were other photographers there from all over the U.S., and they took us to a hydrangeas field, showed us different lenses and techniques, and then we went to the Oregon coast and was able to shoot in, you know, the middle of the day, something that we could never do here. Well, I
It
guess
was in
you
the
can.
forest?
Yeah. Well, her backyard, which is really cool, is a huge forest.
Wow.
So we had that aspect, and we had the hydrangea, something we also don't have here. And with those two, I got to study under the greats.
So you go to these trainings, and as I saw, you went like outdoors and have like this it was like a model. She was dressed up, and you all guys take pictures of it, and it was like a contest?
No, just a workshop.
Just a workshop. And that's the picture that you have with this model, which was like on the photos.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And why would you recommend any creator to go to these updates, to these courses in the
I think it's just important for us as creators to be ever learning. There's always something new to learn. And
Like
who you
AI?
are. Huh?
like AI?
Man, forget AI. We have to be better than AI.
What's your opinion on that?
I think it's going to either replace us or make us really lazy. Because how many photographers can actually, let's say, if I'm like this, how many can actually take that cup, cut it out precisely, put it in your hand? You know, now with AI, it's easy.
It's like we have a say, like, we better have everything in production, not post-production. And that's one of the areas that you have, like, your expertise, because you do, like, studio sessions. And you have, like, in this season, like, Christmas mini sessions where you put, like, all the stage in a different depth. and you put like the hot chocolate, and you put inside like a baby, and you do like the sessions in there. What do you like about these mini sessions that you have in your studio? What would you recommend people to go and do like any a scenario that you can like prepare for them?
I definitely recommend for for people to come and experience the mini session so that they can get a taste of what a full session is like. But each mini session, it's kind of in and out. It sucks that we don't get to really spend that intimate quality time with our clients in that moment.
How many?
My sessions this year for Christmas were 20 minutes of actual, shooting, and then we spend another 20 minutes to do an in-person reveal on that in that moment they are able to select the portraits that they want to keep. I have a couple clients that always come down for the mini sessions, and I keep trying to tell them, like, you need to experience the full session. You guys are always doing this, and it's great, but your kids are growing up, and you deserve it. You deserve to be wined and dined and get glammed up and put on these amazing gowns and, do all that.
And you like to create this whole experience, right? Where do you give them wine? What do you offer to them?
I like to have a Zoom consultation or an in-person consultation with my clients first and foremost to get to know them. And I find out, the things that they like and dislike. And if they're, a tequila drinker, then I'll have tequila there at the studio. If they like coffee, well, I'll have that as well. Same thing with wine, or with the kids, I find out their favorite snacks.
So how do you make this? Do you have like a questionnaire for them?
Yes. So I have a questionnaire that I give to them with their initial Zoom consultation or on the phone or in-person consultation that we'll do. And I'll ask them questions, such as, how have you always dreamt of being photographed? And a lot of times.
Is this your first time being photographed?
Is it your first time? But also, how do you want to see yourself? What do you imagine when you look at this wall and you see your family or you see yourself up there? What does that look like to you? And most times, especially as moms, we'll say, oh no, I don't want to be in a picture. I'm too fat. I'm too this. I'm too that. And I tell them, no, don't worry. It's my job to take the most amazing portrait that you have ever seen of yourself. And that is what I guarantee to my clients.
What's the best compliment that you ever have from your clients' feedback?
I would say one of the best ones was earlier this year. I had a maternity client, and all things maternity, that's my jam. But afterwards, when she saw her final images, she cried, and she could not believe how amazing she looked because she was really self-conscious. She had gained a lot of weight in her pregnancy, and she just was not comfortable with that. And, I kept telling her, no, you're beautiful. Just be you. Just be yourself. If you want to be naked on the beach, then be naked on the beach. And if you want to do this and do that, let's do it. Like,
that you just
don't worry.
Another session that I have with you. So it was the first time we did this session with the preg lady. So you remember. So it was.
She got naked on the beach.
Yeah,
like,
you always
woo!
got me to these new experiences that I never been. So I was told we're gonna have a session for this preg lady. We're gonna do it like Santa Maria, I don't know. And then we were there. We were shooting the sessions, and then she would get naked, and I was like, again from the distance, because it's weird. To be honest,
Why is it weird?
For the first time,
if you see a woman on the beach.
No, for first time for me it's weird that I start to taking pictures of a naked lady without knowing it before, So at first I started like from the distance. The husband were there, and I was like, okay, trying. I don't know how to do this. And then I was like closer, and I was like, I'm being an artist right now,
You're being scared.
At first I was scared. So to be honest, but this is the kind of things that I like because you're doing a different kind of sessions, and it's nice. So you said like the client cried because I don't know if you noticed, but producing someone and creating content for them is like putting them like vulnerable. you know, and on a spotlight.
Making it vulnerable.
Yeah. And what do you think about that? Because at first when I started doing it, it was like a for volunteer in a community where I have like these leaders and I start to producing for them. And they start to have like the spotlight and the attention of the social media. And I start to see they start to develop like a vanity and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, I get for the first time to see the power of the creation, you know, the content creator. How can you put people on the spotlight if they're not ready? They can be like, you know, mess with the attention that I been receiving. So what do you learn about that? You know, what do you learn about the power of creating pictures and content for someone, and what do that can do for them if they're not ready, if they have like a wrong vision of themselves? I'm fat, I'm like this. What do you think?
Oh no, we break all of that. Yeah, in all of my sessions, I'm like, leave all of that negativity outside.
I like it.
Leave it all outside. And worst case, just take a shot. You'll feel real good after that.
And you help them to build a good self-esteem, you know, because you're like, no, you're good the way you are. You teach them to love themselves, I think, and I really like what you say. We help them to break that. It's nice. So you have receiving like many awards for your pictures. Could you tell us like one of the last awards that you received? It was like a contest. You sign up.
Yeah, so actually, I just got my scores back from the Icon Awards. WPPI is happening in Vegas. You should come. It's in a couple months. And so that particular competition is a lot different than the last competition I entered back in, what was it, September with the Portrait Masters. That the last one, well, the previous one was with Sue Bryce. And so this other one, it focuses more, you know, with you wedding photographer people, and there's other genres that can enter. But with this one, they score really, really, really tough. And I didn't enter to place. Let me put that out there. I entered so that I could receive the feedback from the greats, you know, that are the judges. And so I actually received a 78 on a birth picture. And yeah, I was ecstatic. If I had scored 2 more points, then I would have been able to be in the print competition, and they're going to have this huge gallery in Vegas at the convention where all the photographers have to print these massive pictures, and you get to walk around and look and whatnot, and they're going to judge them right there on the floor. So yeah, that was a really good experience, and I'm still waiting for the feedback. I can't wait to get that. But usually newbies like myself, we never place that high. And again, that kind of implants that bug, you know, so like, oh, what's next? What's the next one? What's the next one? But at the TPM, I actually place bronze with distinction. Another thing that never happens with newbies. That was my first time actually entering. And I got to give big thanks to Rachel and Amber again for that, because had I not gone to the Coastal Dreams workshop, there's no way on this earth would I've ever entered something like that.
It catch my attention that you said that your award was with when you combine maternity with photo, and then your best compliment was as well from a maternity and photo. I would say that we always like to encourage people to do the thing they love and they're passionate about. And we got like the privilege to work with the thing that we really love, you know. You're not going to work whenever you do the thing that you're passionate about, you know.
Exactly.
And I would say that you receive that, it captures my attention, that is combining 2 things: the maternity because of the doula and the photography. So when you're combining those, you're building like a stronger, you know, skills that you have, and you develop, you know, to other people. That's very nice. How do you do? I like to encourage creators, because we work with emotions, and we work with so many things. We're like a filter. So what do you do as a mom that I was talk to you like, hey, you should come to my posada or my birthday, and you're like, I have like you did two at 5. My kids have like da da da. I have to take them home. I have to take them to school. Where is your where is your place where you rebuild your creativity and that you can go and say, I'm charged, I'm loaded again. I can go and create.
That's what those workshops are for. That's it. That's that time when I don't have to drive my kids and do all these things. And yeah, so every 6 months, that's my plan now. Or unless I get hired again to go to some strange, far, exotic land that I can work there and recharge.
Travel, you would say, right? As well. That's what I like. I like travel. I like doing content, and I've been working.
You travel too much.
You travel too much. This girl has just been in Iceland, which is my bucket list. You know, you went first there. I never gonna forget that. And then I like to travel and create content abroad, somewhere over the border for me. And I've been doing twice in Portland, once in Vegas, and in Canada as well. We went to Costa Rica for your anniversary. We were with the monkeys and the sluts. It was nice.
We didn't really see monkeys though.
Yeah?
Remember?
No?
At the monkey place, there was no monkeys.
It was like few
Like
of them.
2.
Yeah, but we get there was like more slots in there. And like Costa Rica is nice. I've never been there before, and it was like a whole experience and a whole adventure because it was during COVID, and
It was.
and I had to take a flight from Cabo to Dallas and then to Dallas to Costa Rica and the same on my way back. The same day that I left to Costa Rica, they changed the law and they said if you don't get vaccinated, you can make like a transit in the States nor stay in the country. And when I get there, I couldn't manage to. I'm going to say this because I like to encourage people. I believe in God. And I saw that on my way there, they were saying, like, okay, you can go. And I was like, I'm not vaccinated, bro. And they were like, no, it's okay, you can go. I arrived into Costa Rica, but on my way back, they didn't allow me to take the plane, you know, because they were like, no, you didn't get vaccinated, you're not, and you're going to stay in here. You just lost your flight. And I was
I
like,
remember that.
I was making plans of my layover in Dallas. I was going to shopping and something like that. And I was in the counter in the airport in Costa Rica. And I was like, oh, that's okay. I don't have to go to the States to get to Cabo San Lucas, but you get me there. And they were like, no, we can get you there. I saw something that it was like super weird. I called the CDC in front of them. And I was like, these guys doesn't allow me to take my flight. And they were like, no, you're allowed to take your flight. And I was, I'm not a U.S. citizen. I'm a Mexican and I'm not vaccinated. Something weird happening there, and he was on the phone. A guy from CDC. No, tell them you can take the flight.
Wow. That's God.
That's God. When you do something and you trust, you know, hire yourself, and you're like, I'm well covered, back up, you know. And they managed to bring me home, but I took the Mexico City route, and I get to stay in there with my family for free for one night. And it was like a nice experience as well, creating content in Costa Rica, Canada, the States. And now I'm going to Turkey and Italy to create content.
No one cares.
So there's always this like healthy competition in between Brittany and me, who's going the furthest and stuff. But it's real nice to have you here. Anything that you would say to any creator who is like doubting in himself about the skills that they have or the passion that they have, why they should pursue the way?
I would just say there's only one you, and all the information that you need to become the best version of you and to become great is out there. You don't need to go out and, you know how they say, reinvent the wheel. There's enough wheels out there. Just pick up one and do it. If you really enjoy this, do it. And, you know, as you said, once you're actually doing something that you really love, it's not work. And that's how fortunate we are. We're able to get up and not work and travel the world, you know. It's amazing. So they should just do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Don't be afraid. Just do it. Don't be afraid to show yourself as your how do you say this, as essence, natural essence, you know?
And invest in yourself.
Invest in yourself, exactly.
That's it. Know your worth and your value.
Like I would say, if you have like these doubts about the thing that you want to work in the future, and you're like taking like a lot of feedback from people, just do it, you know? Just do it and see if it fits you, and if you're like good at it, because you're the best to know if you're good at something and you're enjoying it, you know?
And don't be expecting your best friends and family to be your biggest clients and supporters.
Only us that we will hire ourselves each other, you know. This girl has been hiring me for doing the plays from their kids. Annie, you have like a very talented kids.
I do. I do.
And they're following all these, you know, because the space for creative is like super vast. You can experience like and creating on many different disciplines. And I see that they seen where you have been creating in the places that you like to discover and just being you and show your essence, what I've been talking about. And they've been, you know, following that. And you have a kids on the play, singing, dancing, learning the piano. Maybe you're not gonna learn the piano if you don't have patience with me, that I'm a good teacher, or she's gonna do it, you know. And it's really nice seeing her playing the piano and keeping your legacy, you know, the things that you like and the things where you experience your creative area.
She takes everything that I do and she makes it better.
And she speaks Spanish. So you never know where the apple falls from the tree, you know. But it's so nice to have you here, and thank you so much for opening the space to come and talk with your brother, to have some coffee and talk about life and experience. We are about to close 2024. I'm starting the third season. It was nice to launch my first podcast in English with you, because I feel like confident, because we know I don't feel, you know, afraid of mess, or you're afraid. So thank you so much for being here. Any last thought that you want to share with the audience? Any positive thought to start New Year?
Say yes to the photo shoot. Just book your photo shoot now. Book it. And don't worry about the cost. Invest in yourself.
Invest in yourself. And you want to invest in yourself here somewhere over the border, which is great at doing a studio session and also outdoors. So if you ever have like a family session, newborn session, birth session, maternity, weddings, engagement.
No weddings. Please.
No wedding. Well, engagement. You like engagement? You can
but
come.
Maternity.
You can go to social media and look over somewhere over the border. She's Brittany. She's great, and she's gonna be creating an experience, the whole experience for you. Not only the photos, but the experience. That's what she works for, and is passion, her passion. All right, so thank you so much for being with us. This is our first show in English. I would like to invite more creators and more people, not just photographers, you know. You can recommend me any other funny people who has like many experience to share. And here's the space. So welcome to all the friends from Brittany, family, Uncle Tyler.
Who?
No, it's not Uncle Tyler.
Papa T?
Papa T? No.
Terry. Yeah. It's a T though. So good job.
It was close enough.
Close.
All right. So thank you so much. Keep it sarcastic. Keep it humble. Keep it with us. All right.
Keep it savage.
Keep it savage.